What? The intro song gets me every single time. Can y'all tell that I'm hyped this week? Because first of all, we in a new month. God is good. All the time, God is good. Ain't he? And then also in conjunction to that, in addition to that, comma, and therefore, thus, and so, Gabe is back. I ain't gotta do nothing. I ain't gotta do nothing. I ain't gotta do. Gabe is back. let's just end the conversation right there, because if y'all stuck with me last month, child, I was enduring. I was keeping my hand on the plow. I was standing strong during the torturous, tumultuous. Y'all know, girl, don't be trying to use those big words when you that excited, because they don't ever come out right. Just, you gotta chill, Domo. You gotta chill. You have got relax. Act like you know how to talk a little bit. All right. Welcome to another episode of One Being Brave. I'm your host, Domo Jones. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all all right? I mean, can y'all tell Gabe is back? Because he's on it. I mean, he's popping them out. Pop, pop, pop. Go to Weezer because we say pop. When I tell, and hands free. My hands are free. What we doing? Where we going? Where we going? You want to play double dutch? What you want to do? Because my hands are just free. Free at last. All right, so let's get into the house rules. No profanity. Come on now. Thank you, Gabe. I love you. No, we don't do that on this show. I mean, it's way too many. When I say way too many, it's way too many words in the dictionary that we're going to use. So we're going to use all them. No bashing of race, religion, gender, politics, or sexual preferences. Why? Because from one blood he made all the nations. So we all family. Like, we can't fuck. All y'all invited to the barbecue. And tell them I sent you. Who gonna check for me? Oh. Ain't nobody gonna check for me? Because all y'all coming. Auntie, uncle, now, cousin, now. All y'all. Twice removed. Come on back. Everybody invited to the barbecue. Also, this show is called One Being Brave because it represents the 1 billion people of the world that have a disability and or medical condition. Y'all know. Y'all know. Get you one of us in your circle. Don't get you me though, but get you one of us. Because I tell you, our community, the tier, the top of the tier is right here. We're on top of that. Like, that's how on top of the tier we are. We're too much on top of the tier that it just don't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make any sense how dope of a community that we are. So I'm gonna tell you now, you're welcome. Because once you get you one of us in your circle, y'all gonna be like, dang, where y'all been? Here. Because, we've been here this whole time. Y'all was just blindsided. The blind side. Okay. Also, one of the most important rules, one of the second to the most important rules. We talk about Jesus Christ on this show. I don't know what y'all thought that we do or don't do, but what we do is talk about Jesus Christ. He will forever be the number one stunner. The number one the number one stunt. That's my guy. He should be yours too. I'm just saying. If you're not, I mean, it's cool, whatever. But you might want to hurry up and get him real quick. Just a little bit, just a little taste, a little dab will do you. Last important rule: this show is one of the very few shows that has a hostess with a disability that interviews guests with disabilities, medical conditions, and or essential caregivers. Old heads, y'all know what I'm about to say? Newcomers, catch on very quick. Lady O, Tyler Perry, and Mother Ava DuVernay. I'm coming to all three of y'all houses. And when I say it's going to be a trifecta type, John. It's going to be a triangle effect. Okay? Lady O, come to the house first. We have so much to discuss. So little time. So much to discuss. So little time. But it's okay, though, because we're going to chop it up. And we may have to do a 2 or 3 part series. I'm gonna have to come to the house. Or I could stay in, what do you got, about 47 million and 73 rooms. You won't even know I'm there. Makes sense to me. Then I'm gonna hop on across the street. Tyler Perry, hi grandma, love you. Because you are in the circle. You are. Let's just stop for a second. Because I was flowing until this comment right here from my beloved father. I don't know if he's a champ, but he's someone. He's someone and he's here. Someone and he's here. And for that, aren't we all grateful? We're all very grateful that he's here. Tyler Perry, I'm going to be at your house next, so be very prepared. We're just gonna chop it up one time for the one time as well. So much to discuss. I'm probably need to be in one of your plays, one of your shows. I probably need to have a show at this point. Make my life a series. It makes sense. I'm telling you, you're gonna get a lot of views. Because boy, when I tell you the stories be storing and they continue to go, you'll never not have nothing to talk about. You'll never not have nothing to write about. You always gonna have viewers when you're talking about my life. I tell you, okay? After I hit out with you, it's going to be time to do our locks. Because we faithful. We faithful around here. It's gonna be time. So we're gonna go to Rockefeller real quick to get our locks done. Me and Ava DuVernay. And I'm in chair 1, she in chair 2, or she can be in chair 1. I'm not picky. And then she gonna be in chair 2. Danita gonna be doing my locks. Jazz probably gonna be doing her locks. And we're just gonna be chopping it up. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Getting a retwist and reeing up our conversation. It makes so much sense. Like, my God, today, I tell you. It makes sense to me. All right, so I'm super grateful that I gave it back. Nevertheless, go to my throat. Get us together. Nevertheless, we don't have a brave heart. We're not gonna have one because I need to get myself together. I gotta get it together. But that's okay though, because there's so much other things to talk about. And this is one of them. All right, story time. So I bought an elliptical seated machine, right? So you know how they have elliptical where they have one that you can sit down and do it for your legs. Just trying to get the legs going, trying to get the muscles in the legs going. Active. Trying to keep the rhythm, trying to keep the momentum, trying to keep the blood flow, build the muscle. I said, we're doing this thing, okay? I don't know what y'all are, because I'm about to run next summer. So I got to get it together. Makes sense to me, right? So, all right. Bought this thing. First time using it was last night. Okay, so didn't know what I was doing. Turned on the machine, right? And I'm like, we about to go on level 1. Plain and simple. Put my feet on both little pads and we're moving, right? It went forward a few times, like a minute, and then 2 seconds to stop, went back. Did that cycle twice, right? Okay. Oh, we're in this thing. Boom. Now, I don't know what happened on the 3rd trimester of the cycle, but the speed went up to level 5. Now, I was in a chair that moves. And my legs were moving at the same time. Not only that, the elliptical machine was sliding forward. You're not about to take me out of here. This elliptical is not about to take me out. Child, I thought my life was over. I thought my legs were going to be gone. What? When I say my life flashed before my eyes, so I'm trying to press the button on the elliptical, but the machine is furthering away from me, and my legs are following it. And then also it's on level 5, and I'm in a chair that moves too much. It's too much going on. It's way too much. My funeral is not going to be in loving memory of Domo because she was on this seated elliptical. That is not going to be the way I end. Huh? Child, when I say I was out of breath, how you sitting down and you out of breath? Girl, what? Figure it out. Read the manual. That's the problem. We don't read the manual. I know, Grandma. It's always something. We don't read the manual. And that's the problem. We feel like we could do it. I promised you. I was like, it's 5 buttons on here. I know what I'm doing. Like, what y'all thought? Press mode, press start. There you go. Level 1. Child, I didn't know that it was going to bounce its own self up to level 5 and then go backwards, forward, and side to side. And then slide. It's going to slide forward in the mist. And I can't even reach the button to stop. Child, where is the safety button? It's always, listen. This is what I've learned. I've learned to do stuff on carpet. That's what I learned, and read the instructions. Because part of my room is tile, and it's a slippery tile. And the chair was on the carpet, but the elliptical machine was on the tile. And the tile said, "Come to me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And my chair was still like, "Stand still and know that I am God." So they weren't on one accord. And that's the problem. They got to be on one accord. Lesson learned. Read the instruction. Because don't be like me. Don't be like me about to end your life so soon over not reading the instructions. Because I really thought my life was over and I was out of breath. Huh? Girl, figure it out. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Y'all keep me lifted. Because it's always something in this room. It's always something. But you know, we made it. We're conquerors. Even in this, we are strong. Ain't nothing about to take me out. Shoot, I'm gonna live to tell it every single time. Okay, so I'm super grateful for my guests. Y'all, we are international. We have made it yet again. We had someone from Ireland 2 weeks ago. And then this week, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to let her tell you. I'm going to let her tell you where she's from. Because globe. We're international. I don't care what nobody say. 1 billion brave has made it. Gabe, can you put that on the screen, please? 1 billion brave has made it. # international. Don't be mad at me. Because we made it. Okay? I'm super excited for my next guest. We're about to bring her on right now. Like, what are we waiting for? Miss Valerie, could you please grace the stage, please? Hey! How are you? I saw you in the background laughing. I don't have no say. Thank you. I'm super excited for Miss Valerie. Okay, so thank you so much for gracing the stage. I do appreciate it. I don't ever take it lightly.
Well, I'm just so thankful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You are very welcome. Okay, so can you tell everyone where you're from and who you care for?
Okay, I currently live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Let's go.
I was actually born in England and I emigrated to Canada many years ago in 1989. And I am a mom to two children with disabilities. My first is now 22,
Wow.
and she has cerebral palsy. And so she's very involved. And then
Mhm.
we have our younger child who is now 19, who has an invisible disability. And this one has ADHD and high functioning autism, which we only got that diagnosis about 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna break down. I want to talk about both children and both and well all three medical conditions. So we're gonna start with the cerebral palsy, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Can you tell us just briefly for those that don't know what CP is?
So, cerebral palsy, it's actually a broad umbrella for many conditions that are underneath it. So, it's a group of conditions that affect movement and posture. So, it's caused by damage to the brain. And so, for my child, Melody Ann, we had a prolapsed cord which cut off the oxygen supply to her brain. And so, as the brain is developing, it's either in utero or it's as the child is being born or it's right after the child is born is when it can happen. Most often it's before birth, and symptoms appear during infancy or preschool, but in our case, we knew right away.
So for her, so you knew from the start.
Yeah.
So when they told you when they diagnosed your daughter, what did they say, or did they say anything regarding like symptoms would you have to face when she was born?
Basically, do you want to know the truth? They
Yeah.
told us that we probably had a year with her. Yeah. So we had an emergency C-section. She was pretty much dying on her way into the world. Her heart rate was less than 60. She was gray, and she's a mocha baby, so I'm married to a Caucasian,
Mhm.
and she was basically dying, her heart rate, because a newborn, as they're being born, the heart rate's around average about 120 beats per minute. Hers was 60,
Mhm.
so she was dying.
Wow.
So they resuscitated her. I was knocked out. I had an emergency C-section, so I knew nothing. By the grace of God, Scott was able to get there and watch her being born. So they resuscitated her, put her on a life support machine, hit her with some fluids to boost her blood pressure. And yeah, they just basically said that she would be pretty much a vegetable and that she probably wouldn't last more than a year.
Wow. Okay, so for
Yeah.
you as her mother during that moment when they told you that, what was that feeling for you having a daughter? Was this your oldest daughter?
Yes. So this was the first time I'm a
Okay.
mom.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. So, what was that moment for you? Like, what did that feel like? First out finding that your daughter has a medical condition, then once she's born, hearing that she only has a year.
So I'm just going to back up just a little bit. So both my husband and I are healthcare professionals, and both of us have worked in intensive care units. And so when she was born, they put her into the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit. And
Right.
because both Scott and I were used to seeing people on ventilators, it was kind of like, oh, they go on them, we see them get off them, we rehabilitate them. So I don't think it really hit home for us for about 24 hours when we realized the severity of what was going on. And the doctors were, I think they're paid to tell you the worst case scenario, to be honest with you. And so it was about 24 hours before it actually really sank in. So here we were, first time parents after trying for 7 years. So we were
Um,
dealing with infertility for 7 years. We finally get pregnant. I have a gorgeous pregnancy. I just am big in the front. I don't gain weight anywhere else. Praise God. I didn't throw up during the first 3 months. I don't do vomit.
yeah.
And
Right.
so here we are, first time parents, and now we are parents of a child that's going to be disabled. And now you're telling us that she's only going to live a year. So it was a shock because there was so much to take in. But I think once we realized this is it, then we thought we're going to make the best year of our lives. But the hardest point, Doma, was going home without her because we had to leave her in the hospital. So when I was done with the C-section and recovered, and I think I was in the hospital maybe 2 days, but we had to leave her in the hospital and to go home, and forgive me if I get a little emotional,
It's
to
okay.
go home to the nursery that we had prepared for her and not have her with us. That was probably one of the most devastating things.
And I appreciate your vulnerability because most people don't talk about that part. You know, they don't talk about what that is, what that feeling is like. Because, like you say, like you're a first time mom, you have all these, you know, visions and
Yeah.
dreams, and you know, just you and your husband, and just life, what this new life is like with your
Yeah.
daughter. And then not only are you hearing that she's going to have a disability, but then you're hearing that her lifespan is only up to a year, and then I can't take her home. I already only have 365 days, and I can't even take her home within those
Right.
360. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And they were telling us that we couldn't go home until they found caregivers that would be overnight with her because she was on oxygen and she wasn't able to, because of the severity of her injury, her brain injury, she wasn't able to swallow. So
Mm-hmm.
she had to have a nasogastric tube that went up through her nose and down her trachea, sorry, her esophagus, and down into her stomach. And so not only am I dealing with a baby and being a first time mom, now I've got to deal with all this medical stuff. So I can't feed her. I can only feed her through this tube that has to go up in her nose and it has to be changed from one week to another week, from one nair to the other nair. And I'm not that technical when
Yeah.
it comes to that kind of stuff. My husband's the nurse. I'm a physical therapist. So it was easy for him. But I remember one day he was at work. It was an evening shift he was doing, and I was supposed to change it. And I went to put it in her nair and I was feeling resistance. So I thought, okay, just take it out, take a breath. We'll do this again. So I tried the second time, couldn't get it in. And then I tried the third time, and then I'm making her bleed. I'm just like, I can't do this. So then I'm losing it, this poor kid. So I'm
Oh,
calling Scott and I'm blubbering on the phone. And so we had to wait until he got home at 11 o'clock at night. And oh my goodness. So yeah, it was traumatic. So many, many emotions. And I have to tell you, so I have been a Christian for a long time. But I remember when Melody Ann was born and we realized the severity of her injury and we recognized that she only had a year, I didn't have a whole lot to say to God. I was so angry. I was 7 years trying to get pregnant. I had a beautiful pregnancy. And then this, you have got to be kidding me. And I remember thinking, I can't pray because I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say.
yeah.
But the one thing that kept that thread of connection with him was if I only had a year with Melody Ann, I felt responsible for her to know who Jesus Christ was.
Mm-hmm.
So with the denomination that I'm with, they give out little pamphlet things that you read for a quarter for the children. And so interestingly enough, that quarter that Melody Ann was born, it was Jairus's daughter being
Wow.
brought back. And I remember praying and thinking, Lord, I'm only asking for a few brain cells to be regenerated here. I'm not asking you to bring her from the dead. She's still alive.
Right.
But it was hard for me to pray but your will be done, because we were just so hopeful that he would heal her, and he didn't. But praise his name, she has touched so many more lives through her disability, and she's lived to be 22 and still going. This girl kicks, but let me tell you, she is not going anywhere soon. She has a life to live.
Yeah.
But the impact that she's had, I think she probably would have had less of an impact on people had he healed her.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with that even personally because you know that I've dealt with medical conditions since I was 9 years old. Well, since I was 36. I don't know what life is like without dealing with something, right?
Mhm.
And I was my mom's first child. My other sister, she died in my mom's arms
Oh, I'm
when
so
she was
sorry.
she her lungs weren't developed fully, so she would have had a disability as well. But
Yes.
for me, you know, always the prayer is healer, healer, heal, like heal, heal. And as I got older, the perspective changed to I don't want to be healed, I want to be made whole. And for
Mm,
the natural eye, that doesn't always look like a physical, because I wear a leg brace, I use a walker, but
yes.
just like your daughter, I've touched so many lives and I've done so much with my ailment, with my limitation that I probably wouldn't have never done.
Mhm.
And I think that's a testament to you as well as your daughter, because it also shows God's grace.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
like, I didn't take her out. I didn't give her what you may have wanted, but she's done so much through me that
Hmm.
she probably wouldn't have never done if she
Yeah.
was fully able bodied, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I think back to how many people have come to work with children with disabilities because of her, we had
Yes.
a situation in the deacon's room. I was chatting with a lady, a slightly older lady, and she had been a preschool teacher. And I didn't know this, but she had been praying, Lord, I need to get out of this situation that I'm in because I don't want to deal with some of the things with the preschool and how they're operating. And she was like, Lord, I don't know what else to do. This is all I've
Right.
done is, take care of preschool children. And the Holy Spirit prompted me to go and talk to her and ask her about coming to be an aide in our home for
Yeah.
Melody Ann. She was frightened to death. She had
Right.
never worked with children with disabilities, but she came to our home and she was probably the second one. We had another younger lady from church come and work with her. But the ripple effect from
Mhm.
that was, this person would tell this person, hey, this is what I'm doing. And you might want to try this. And I
Right.
think I counted one time about 16 people that because of Melody Ann ended up going into working with children with disabilities.
That's amazing.
Praise his name.
And I think because they see how strong she is and how much a light she is with
Yeah.
her physical, limitation. And they're like, wait a minute, if she can do it, let me see what this life is all about. Like, that's I love that. I love that. I love to hear stories like that. And I love when parents are able to see the light that their children carry.
Yes. And
I
God
love
has been so gracious that way because that was one of the things, Lord, if we have to be on this journey, let it not be for naught. Let us be able to help others along their journey and help
right.
us, Lord, to be a light, as you said, to be a light to others along the way. And I remember actually this one lady that did come and work with us, the older lady, I remember her saying to me one time, you know, she said, you with your children get
Yeah.
out and about more than people with typical children. And it's because I didn't want Melody Ann, if you know initially it was just going to be a year,
Right.
but I didn't
Yeah.
want her to not experience things in life. We just
Right.
treated her like we would treat anybody else. And we were
Exactly.
so blessed when she was very little. We just taught her the colors like you would teach any other child. So, Melody
Mhm.
Ann, what color sleeper would you like to wear tonight? Do you want to wear the yellow one or the purple one? And
Right.
we would get her to choose. We had no idea what she was taking in. And so I remember she had this toy that was like had piano keys on it. It's like an arch. She laid underneath it and it had piano keys on it. And her dad said to her, hey, Melody Ann, can you touch the yellow key? And she did. And we thought, oh, that's a bit of a fluke. So he said,
Right.
well, hey, how about the purple key? And she touched it. And it was like, that was when it kind of clued into us. She was actually taking in everything that we were teaching her, everything we were showing her, everything we were exposing to her. And so from that moment, it was kind of like, okay, let's raise the bar. And every time we
Yeah.
raised the bar, she reached it. Okay, let's raise it a little bit more. And when she was 3, we had a speech language pathologist come into the home and she was doing an assessment. I forget exactly for what, but I remember the thing I remember was there's no reason why this child can't use a computer.
Right.
Okay, opened up a whole new world for her. And so now she uses a communication device, and that's how she communicates with us. And it's just been so huge to have her be able to share, not necessarily what she's feeling. And I'll get to that in a second, but her wants, her requests, but she can comment on things and she
Right.
can ask
Right.
for things. And it's just been a huge eye opener. The interesting thing, though, was when she first got the device, she was
Uh-huh.
kind of like on the fringes. She was just looking at it. She was almost like she was playing with it, but she wasn't really communicating with us. We
Mhm.
had no idea she was learning where everything was because her device has a home page. You click a
Yeah.
button and then that opens up another page. And so there's all these layers and all these different pages on her
Oh.
device. And so she was just learning and navigating where everything was.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. That is so cool how, like, that opened up even for her to be a little bit more independent. That helped
Absolutely.
with so many other avenues. And for you to even, it just showed, it showed her, well, it showed you and your husband, like, how much she really knows. I
Yeah.
mean, because you would have never known.
No, we would
And I
never have
think,
known. And
yeah,
for
you would.
instance, she loves Christmas. And so she was going to, she wanted to, and she loves snowmen. She's got this thing for
Yeah.
snowmen, so do I. But she would have to go to weather and find snow, and then
Uh,
go to people to find man to say snowman. And
to
this
say,
is what she
wow.
was doing. It's like, oh my goodness.
Right. I love that. I love that. Hi, Mom Sonia. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Devin. I think that's so powerful. Like that's amazing. And so for your daughter, she communicates, or she expresses herself through her is it an iPad, or is it a device?
It's a device. It's like a tablet that sits on an arm that sits over her tray, and then she
Yeah, yeah.
accesses it with two switches that are on her tray. So one switch will take her screen into four sections, and then it will go row by row. And then if she hits another switch, it will go across. So
Oh,
it
gotcha.
comes down, and then it will go across. And
Yeah.
then she can pick single words, or she can pick
Mhm.
phrases, and she has been amazing. We've had
I
to.
know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was reading the comment.
Oh, oh, love how your daughter connected the pieces. Yes. And
Yeah.
again, one of the things that we were just at our camp, which I can tell you about shortly, and one of the speakers was talking about you have to presume competence. And this is what
Hmm.
we find with people with disabilities, that people think that they don't have any intelligence, or they have limited intelligence. And it is so frustrating. And so it's just been quite the journey. And I remember having to advocate for Melody Ann at school. Presume that she knows it, or don't wait for her to tell you what you want her to repeat to you. Just keep moving forward,
Keep
assuming that
moving
she's taken it
forward.
in. When she's ready, she will show you what she has learned.
That is so true. A lot of people underestimate
Hmm.
our power of knowledge. We're very smart, because the thing is, and this is why I learned, even having the disability, where we lack, we strengthen in another area.
Yes.
So if my physical, and I had to groom myself with this too. My physical is not the best, but I'm gonna tell you, my mental is top tier,
Yeah.
because it balances it out. My senses, or my vision, my
Hmm.
hearing, like something is going to weigh out what lessons. And that's the beautiful thing that God does. He's not
Yeah.
going to just give you less for your whole life. He's going to balance it out to help you live and survive. And I think that's super dope. For
Yeah.
your daughter, when it came to schooling, um did she go to a special school? Did she have to learn a different way? What did that like process look like?
So initially, we had moved from Calgary, Alberta to Nova Scotia. My husband's a
Mhm.
maritimer, and both of us are ocean people. So we moved to be closer to the ocean.
Super international.
Yeah. So we ended up sending her to a typical school where she was integrated, and it was so beautiful. She was about five or six. And those kids at that age, they are lovely. They are just so inclusive and so loving and so caring. I just remember that they, for warm up for gym, they'd have to run around the gym, and, the kids would fight over who pushed her chair around the gym. And so it was so lovely. And then we came back to Calgary mainly because she wasn't getting what she needed to be able to communicate, because
Hmm.
they don't have the same kind of funding, they don't have the same resources. So we moved back to Calgary, and that's where she actually then went to a specialized school for children with
Okay.
disabilities. So that was elementary. And then when it came to high school, she did junior high
Hmm.
there as well. When it came to high school, I looked into her being integrated into a regular school again, but it would have been more like a specialized classroom within a regular
Oh,
school.
yeah.
And I remember we had homeschooled her for about a year. And I remember going to look around the school, and it was an older teacher. And I said, okay, this is what I've been doing with Melody Ann. We've been doing times table, da 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 da, all of this kind of stuff. I'm old school and I'm a little older. So we did times tables with her,
Yeah, yeah.
teaching her how to spell, all of this kind of stuff. And the teacher, her face just was hitting the floor. She looked at me with deer-like eyes and
Okay.
headlights. And it was almost like I was talking double Dutch to her. And I just was laying out my expectations. I did not expect my child to go to school just to be babysat. She was going to go to school to learn.
To
And this
learn.
teacher just, I could tell I was overwhelming her. So she
That's
did end up going
nice.
back to a specialized school. And the main reason for that was if Melody Ann needed medication and
Yeah,
feed changes and that kind of stuff, if home care couldn't go in, then it was going to be my responsibility to leave work and go and deal with her. And at the time, I have another younger child, and I didn't really feel that I could fit that in. So she ended up
yeah,
going to special school because they had nurses on site that did the
mhm,
feeds, did the meds, etc., etc.
yeah. It kind of helped the flow. That makes a lot of sense. That definitely does. But that's very smart that you still taught your daughter like, no, she's learning the basics. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
You're not about to
yes,
just sit and look at her. No, she about to learn. She about
yes. And
what?
she did want to learn, and she still does want to learn. She enjoys learning. And so
Yeah,
why am I going to take that away from her? That's something that we all have a right to do that, right? To learn.
right.
That's why we're
To
here.
learn. Yeah, child. You. That's why you the mom. That's why. So I want to it really quick. And I want to go to your youngest daughter. Can you please tell us what her name is and just remind everyone what her medical condition is?
Sure. So my youngest child is Ebony, although they prefer to go by August, and they have attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which is characterized by executive dysfunction. And sometimes it can come over as inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity, emotional dysregulation. And my child exhibits most of these. The executive functioning, it's kind of interesting. I would say probably about 6 months ago, they said to me, Mom, I kind of realized that I'm a little bit younger than a lot of my peers my age. I said, Oh, really? I said,
Mm-hmm.
Well, what makes you think that? Well, just some of the ways I act and some of the things that I say, it's not kind of keeping up with my peers. I said, Well, how far behind do you think you are? And she said, About 3 years, which is what I had pegged. They were probably about 3 years behind. So interesting that she actually had the insight to pick up on that
Right.
herself. Yeah.
So with her, was she diagnosed with this condition at a young age, or did you find out later on?
I found out, I would say, we got the official diagnosis probably when she was grade 5, grade 6. But when we look back, we noticed probably around grade 2 that she wasn't getting invited to birthday parties. I know that
Mm,
sounds kind of weird, but that was one of the things that I picked up on.
yeah.
And so that's kind of how I realized that there was some social issues going on as well. She doesn't like little kids. She does really well with adults, but she
Hmm.
doesn't like little kids. So that was another clue for me as well. And yeah, so that was sort of an interesting thing. And so over time, just recognizing that they kind of gravitated to one particular friend. So they had this one friend for maybe about 4 or 5 years, and then that friend dropped them. And it was and then since then it's been sort of, make friends but not able to maintain them. So
Mm-hmm.
that was part of it. And both my children as well have dual diagnoses. For Melody Ann, the oldest one with cerebral palsy, we didn't know that she had autism. It wasn't until a speech language pathologist mentioned to us, well, do you think she might be on the spectrum? I'm like, oh, that spells it out. That tells us so much. Melody Ann did not smile it took a long time. She did not want to look at herself in the mirror. She did not want to look at us in the eye, and very repetitive, really repetitive with her music. She loves music. That's why she's called Melody Ann.
Hmm.
So she loves music and she would want to hear the same thing over and over and over. But we didn't clue in because I didn't really understand about dual diagnosis. And we were just focused in
Right.
on the cerebral palsy and all
Yeah.
that entailed because she's total care.
Right.
And so once that was kind of presented to us, is like, oh, totally makes sense. And then with our youngest, we were doing an assessment, a psychoeducational assessment for post-secondary education. And the psychologist that saw her suggested, well, she asked us, have you ever thought about Ebony being on the spectrum? I'm like, no. And then as part of the assessment, we had to go back to when Ebony was a youngster, like a toddler, and just kind of try
Hmm.
to remember her behavior. And then we remembered, yes, the flapping of hands. I remembered I couldn't get her off pablum. She didn't like
Mhm.
textured food. She liked her food to be separated. She didn't like it touching. So all of these things started coming back, and it's like, oh, how did we miss that?
Right. It
But we
makes
probably missed it because we were so involved with Melody Ann and just getting through life because it was just so busy, right?
right. Listen, I get it because that is definitely a lot, and then you're dealing with basically four conditions. So for you, I want to ask you personally because I like to ask caregivers. For you, to first question, what is the hardest part about not just being a caregiver, but being a caregiver for your daughters?
I would say the hardest part, and this didn't come till later,
Hmm.
was accepting it is what it is and giving myself permission to grieve that I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get what I expected.
Mm,
So that has been really
deep.
hard. Yeah.
That's deep. Okay, so another question that kind of ties into it because your first daughter you found out
Right
has
away.
dual medical conditions. So as you tried again and then found out that now your second born is also dealing with, her limitations, for you and your husband, was that a harsh reality to realize like I'm trying again and I'm still kind of like quote unquote missing the mark?
Hmm. Yes. And I'm an older parent. So
Mm-hmm.
the two, I think Melody Ann I was 38 going on 39 when I had the
Mm-hmm.
first one, and then 41, close to 41 when I had my second one. So there was not really going to be an option to have any more.
Right.
And when we had Melody Ann, we knew right away, so we could kind of prepare ourselves and our hearts and our minds, and that this was going to be what it was going to be. When she got past a year, it's like
Right.
boulders rolled off our backs. It's like, okay, I guess this kid's going to be around for a while,
Yes.
so let's just enjoy. And for our old youngest, so all the dreams, as you mentioned earlier, all the dreams and hopes and things that we had planned for Melody Ann then shifted to our youngest, to Ebony. And so then the realization, oh gosh, there's something with her as well. It was actually devastating, and it was also hard because, okay, God, you hit it, and I'm not blaming God, but we were hit with Melody Ann, which was devastating, and now again, like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was really hard. And then interestingly, when Ebony was diagnosed with ADHD, I'm looking at Scott, I'm like, honey, you two are too alike for you not to have ADHD. So he was diagnosed as well.
Oh my god. Oh
So
my god.
So let me tell you, it is challenging being in a home where you're the only neurotypical person.
You're the only wow. You hold the pillar? Cause man, oh
Yes.
my gosh.
But I have to tell you, Doma, that dealing with Melody Ann, Scott and I got into a routine and we worked like clockwork together to Melody Ann's care in the morning, because there's a chest physio involved, giving her a nebulizer, getting her washed and dressed, feeds, medication, all of this kind of stuff. So we were up and at it like about 6:15 in the morning to get her
Yeah,
on the bus for 7:30 for school. So
right,
obviously
right.
now she's since graduated. But I have to say that we set Melody Ann up in her own home 6 years ago. So she would just be coming up to 16. I felt like I was the worst woman in the world because here I am abandoning my child. She's not even 16 yet. But I have to say, setting her up in her forever home was probably one of the best things we did, because I would not have been able to cope with what was coming with my youngest. I had to be still doing the day-to-day care, dealing with caregivers, all the HR stuff that comes with it.
Mhm.
And so setting Melody Ann up in her own home gave me the time and space then to focus in on my youngest a little bit more, but also to be available to help her
Right.
through her mental health issues. So we were
Yeah.
dealing with self-harm and other things, very bright child, but then starting to spiral, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and
Hmm.
just not doing well. And so it's taken its toll. We are climbing out of it, but I could not have done that as well as continued the care that we
Yeah.
had for
That
them.
would have been that definitely would have been a lot.
Yeah.
although at that time that transition looked uncertain, it looked like, girl, what are you doing? But
Right?
I, in the long run, that positioned, the way you positioned it was perfect for this next phase of life
Yes.
that you didn't even know about, you weren't even prepared for, but it prepared you, it positioned you for that.
Hmm.
I do want to ask, like, so now you're living in this world as a caregiver for both your children as well as your husband. What's the most rewarding part of just being a mom and a wife?
I think now with our oldest, being able to go visit her and just be mom.
Mhm.
So music is huge in her life. When I was
Yeah.
carrying her, Scott was learning to play the violin. It wasn't pretty at the time, but he did get better. And when I could feel Melody Ann kicking in the womb and Scott was practicing, she would kick. And if you
Wow.
ask her of all the instruments that he plays, what do you want dad to play? Most often it's the violin.
Oh,
Yeah, so she loves the violin. He plays guitar, he plays harmonica, clarinet, he plays a bunch of things. And so it's just so lovely for us to be able to go over and either Scott play the violin or guitar, and she will want me to sing. So
yeah.
we'll just have, sing song together. And I don't have to think about, is it time to change her? Is it time to change her position? Is it time for her meds? Is the pump going off? If the pump goes off, like her feeding tube, I
Hmm.
can just say, yeah, excuse me, I hear her pump beeping. And so it's just so lovely just to go and be mom. I don't have to be
Yeah.
wearing so many hats. I can just go and be
Right.
mom. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing, because mom is a hat that you do wear, but sometimes you can't be that because you have to cover all the other hats.
Yep.
So just being her mom, just being there. And it's
Yes.
just, seeing her in her element, and you
Yes.
guys, you and your husband, like having quality time. I think that's
Yes.
beautiful. I think,
Yes.
yeah, that's dope. I love that answer.
I just need to tell you this little story because one of the beautiful things about Melody Ann living independent of us is that she has had to learn to advocate for herself. So I'm sure many other moms out there can appreciate when your child who doesn't communicate as you and I are communicating now, if they're
Yeah.
using an alternative form of communication, they tend to say a word and then you anticipate what it is that they want. So they don't necessarily have to form a full sentence.
Right,
so,
right, right.
so because Melody Ann is now with staff that don't know her as well, she has had to learn to advocate for herself. And she's also had to learn to say more words. So we've
Yeah.
taught the staff to say, if they don't understand what Melody Ann is getting at, then just ask her to give you some more words. And
Yeah.
one of the things, I just have to tell you this. So she has a Christmas bird that one of her adopted grandmothers gave her, that when
Mm-hmm.
you clap or there's a loud noise, it sings, we
Mm-hmm.
wish you a Merry Christmas. So one of the staff who was no longer there, it was irritating her. So she took this Christmas bird and she put it in the closet in Melody Ann's room. So Melody Ann asked some of the other staff, Christmas bird in closet, please get it. And they couldn't find it. And so Scott and I came over to visit and she's asking us and we're having a look and we couldn't find it. But she was very politely, she just kept saying Christmas bird in closet. Eventually, one of the staff got down on her hands and knees, moved things around, and the person had put it right at the back of the closet. But Melody Ann knew it was in there. And so she just kept saying very politely, Christmas bird in closet until it
Closet,
was
please.
found. And I'm just like, you go, girl.
Okay. You stand on that. Stand on that, because I know what I'm talking about. And y'all need to search and find this thing. I'm
Right?
talking about.
So I'm like, Lord, she can advocate for herself. I don't have to worry.
And she knew what she was talking about. She was like, y'all, I'm not crazy. Get the bird. Okay? I'm sick of all y'all.
Yeah.
Get the bird. I'm telling y'all where it is. Get the bird. I love that. That is definitely an advocate of, I know what I'm talking about. Get it done. Okay?
Yes.
Period. That's it. That's all. I love that. I love that. Miss Valerie, could you please first of all, thank you so much for coming on, being vulnerable, expressing not only you as a caregiver, but you as a mom, and also helping other people, other moms, other caregivers other people that deal with medical conditions, just to be independent and to share their story. I appreciate it so much,
Oh, you're
so
so
much.
welcome.
Can you please tell us where they can find you if you're a part of any organization? I do see in the corner Circle of
Mhm.
Strength. Could you please tell us what that is?
Yes, so Special Needs Moms Circle of Strength. I am a podcast host. So I interview moms of kids with disabilities and just basically to share some hope and some inspiration. I've also had some doctors that are sharing about a condition on the program. I had a grief coach on the program. So yeah, I just somebody said to me, "You have a voice for a podcast." I'm like, "Oh."
You
And
do.
so I just thought, okay, then. So this was last October. So I'm coming up to a year of doing this now. And it had never entered my head. And I'm not a tech person, but I have learned, even at my tender age, how to do this. But I'm having so much fun. I'm meeting so many amazing people. And so if there's anyone out there that would love to be a guest on my podcast, then check me out. I would be happy to interview you. And
I
I am
love that.
also a life coach, as well as I'm still working as a physiotherapist as well. So that's my other job. And I also want to just quickly mention that 9 years ago, we had our first augmentative alternative communication camp. So we were invited to go to Idaho and go down to a camp there for kids using communication devices. And we went back in 2012 and we went for 4 years in a row because it was such an amazing camp where all the kids were using a communication device. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted Melody Ann to be able to go to camp because that seems to be a North American thing. Remember, I am from England.
right.
So this is like see kids going to camp, and I'm like, well, Melody Ann should be able to go to a camp where there's other kids like her. So we went down to Idaho, we took a bunch of notes, and then we chatted with the director of the camp down there, and she helped us create a camp here in Alberta. So
Oh,
she put
that's
us in
cool.
contact with the University of Alberta Speech Language Pathology Department. And so we partner with them, and we've been putting on a camp now for kids using communication devices for 9 years. We just this past weekend did our ninth year, and
I
it
love
has
that.
been amazing.
That is so cool, and that I feel like that's very much so needed. And I hope it comes over here too, because I think a lot of people need that. They a lot. We just want to feel included,
Yes,
and we want to feel like somebody sees us.
yes,
And I think what you're doing is literally that. You're
yes.
recognizing people that are the underdogs, and I love. Thank you, Gabe, because you already know I was about to ask. I appreciate it. Please connect with Miss Valerie on Instagram,
Yes.
Valerie Arbeau. That wait, how do you say your last name? Because I ain't gonna do.
You
I ain't
said
gonna.
it right, Arbeau. Yep.
Let's
Yes.
go. Let's go. Valerie Arbeau on TikTok. Valerie Arbeau. I love that everything is unison. That's very smart. On Facebook, Valerie Arbeau. Please connect with her. I already follow you. Well, we're already friends on Facebook, but
Yes.
now that I have your IG and TikTok, you already know you have a new follower. And wait, hold on, Miss Valerie, because before they put you off the stage, you already know there are certain words that you have to say.
Oh, yes.
There are certain words that you have got to say so people can. You gotta say water. You gotta say yogurt. You got it's just please just one time.
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm from England. I have actually been living in Canada for a very long time. I emigrated here in 1988, but I still have some words that give me away from my English: daughter, water, garage, yogurt, and tomato.
That is that is my favorite. Garage, yogurt. Wait, say yogurt again.
Yogurt,
Daughter, water, garage, tomato. How you say tomato?
tomato.
Tomato. Thank you, Miss Valerie. You just made my whole entire night. That is amazing. We're international, everybody. Everybody, we are international. Miss Valerie, thank you so much again for gracing the stage. Everyone, please go follow her.
Yes.
All her information is right there. Can you keep it up, Gabe, for a little bit? Gabe's gonna put you in the back, and we're gonna end the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Take care. God bless.
I love you.
You too. Bye.
I told y'all. Oh my gosh! Like I told y'all, my guests are top tier, and we're international. We're moving on up to the east side. Come on. I'm just so doggone. Hi, Mom. Love you. I'm just so doggone grateful. Like, she's dope. We're friends. I don't care what nobody say. We're friends. She's stuck with me for life. Thank you guys so much for tuning. Take care, Dev. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. All right, so let's get into the church announcements real quick. Okay, so next Tuesday, Mom, international. I'm glad you said it. Okay, real quick. So, church announcements. If you have a disability and or medical condition and you want to be, or you know someone that would like to be a guest on my show, as you can tell, my guests are dope. Like, come on now, they're always gonna be top tier. What? If you know someone, or if you are someone who wants to be a guest on the show, holla at me, because my guests are always top tier. So if you're a guest on the show, then you're gonna be super dope. That's one. Two, the show not going nowhere, so keep them coming. You feel me? And I appreciate all the ones that send me referrals. I do appreciate it. Some of you guys have been guests on the show that send me referrals, and I appreciate it so much. Now, here's the disclaimer. The disclaimer is you have to have a disability and or medical condition, or you have to be a caregiver, or you have to be a medical professional. Don't be coming over here talking about your eye itch, your elbow hurt, you stubbed your toe. Because what that got to do with me or this show? Get yourself some lotion or some Neosporin, rinse your eye out with some water, and go about your business. Okay? Finish watching that show. Because we need someone that, as you can see, my guests deal with real life stuff. Don't be coming over here talking about you ran to the wall. Turn on the light. Huh? Turn it on. And wear some glasses. If you need some, I'll help you. I got a few referrals. Or I'll send you 2 pair. Good night. Also, next Tuesday, she would be, Mom. See, listen, you better follow the rules. That's what I'm talking about. I am gonna ask her. Next Tuesday we are live in Living Color. We do have a dope guest. Thank you, Gabe. 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 10 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be live next Tuesday, same time, same place. I mean, we're in there. You feel me? I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you, Devin. I'm not messing with you. All right, we out. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. I don't take it lightly, and I'm going to say it all the time. I'm hungry, so we're going to head out. I don't know what y'all about to do, but I'm about to eat. Don't log off, though, because just don't log off. Y'all going to see. I love y'all. Gabe, get me out of here. Get me out. Get me out. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Gabe, get me out of here. Gabe, that's your cue. I love y'all. Period. And y'all better love me too. Alright, Gabe, get me out of here. Y'all ain't know what to do. Until next time. Love you.